Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm just going to show you my supplies real quick, and rather than run through it one by one, I'll just list it all down below in the description, so be sure to check that out. I'll have links as well. But moving on to the title page, we're going to get right into our monthly setup, our plan with me in our bullet journal, and I'm just showing you real quick some of my February pages. These spreads have been awesome for me, and I really learned kind of what I like and what I don't like, so I'm going to carry that on through March. So I'm just making the title page right now. I'm writing March really bold and big, and I'm using my soft tip Tombow pen to do that. It's my favorite pen lately. So I'm just sketching it out, and then I'm going through and darkening the downstrokes a little bit just to give it a bolder effect. And then what I'm going to do is take my Tombow dual brush pen, this will be linked below along with the shade, and I'm just going to darken all those downstrokes to give a shadow effect. And then I'm going to use the thinner side of the brush pen, the fine tip, to go over the thinner lines, and this will give it a more completed look. And then what I'm going to do is take it a step further, and I'm going to take my Uniball white pen, and I'm going to just add a couple dots and lines to the bottoms of the letters to give a highlight. I love doing this. It's such a cool effect. But anyway, underneath of March, I'm just going to draw a little calendar as usual, just for reference. I love doing this on my title pages. And lately I've been putting a quote at the bottom of the page, but I'm not doing this time, and I'll tell you why here shortly. You'll see in an upcoming spread. But I pulled out a notepad, and I just wanted to jot down my ideas for the spreads. That way I wouldn't leave anything out or forget it. I highly recommend doing this when you're setting up for the month, just because you don't want to make a page and then regret something. So starting off with the first spread, this is going to be the monthly overview as usual, and I'm just going to separate it into two columns, business and personal, and put the dates and the days down the center of the page. So pretty self-explanatory. The only other thing that I want to note is I love adding these tabs in the corners, just MAR for March, and highlighting it in the color of my theme. That way I can flip through the bullet journal and easily find March. But other than that, the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just going to add some little accents to make it a little bit better. And then I'm going to highlight the Sundays just so I can easily and quickly see where the weeks start. Since sometimes I fill this out really quickly and I don't want to always have to flip back if I'm just opening it up to use this page and then putting it away. The next spread is going to be the alternative to the quote, and this is the monthly affirmation page. I'm just going to write basically a paragraph very specific to what I want to strive for, to who I want to strive to be, and just some specific goals. And I'm going to try to keep it up every month just to keep myself on track just all across the board. Next up is going to be the habit trackers. So to do this, I really want to take notes from February and list out the habits that I wanted to carry on to this month. And what I actually decided to do was break them down into categories, because it just worked out that I had groups of 3 habits that could be categorized. So I chose productivity for the first category, and then health, and then cleaning, and then mind. So those are my 4 categories, and I have 3 habits in each. I like doing the individual habit trackers just because it really helps me to prioritize them all equally so that I continue incorporating each of them into my daily life. I'm just filling out the first calendar just to show you, but I'm just going to speed through the rest to save time. But for productivity, I have writing, my journals business if I do anything for that, and then YouTube. It could be filming, it could be editing, researching, anything like that in order to fulfill that habit. And then as far as health, eating clean has been very important to me lately, and then exercise for chaos. And then the last one is going to be Pilates. And then for the cleaning category, vacuuming was a given for me, but I put dust just because it was like one of the only logical ones I could think to put in here, but I definitely should have put laundry. So I'm going to put laundry next month for sure. But the third one is deep cleaning. And then for the mind, gratitude, affirmation. As long as I repeat back my affirmation on the previous page, then I can check off that box. And then deep breathing as the final one, because it's so important to me, just as far as overcoming stress and anxiety. But moving on to the next spread, this is a repeat. It's a mood tracker, and I'm doing it the same way as I do all my mood trackers. Basically, each day I will rank my mood on a percentage, make a bar graph all the way down the page, and then on the right side, I'll be writing out a summary for the week, what helped my mood or hurt my mood or impacted my mood in any kind of way. I just like taking notes so I can look back on those and find patterns. So no need to change that. That works beautifully for me. Adding some accents as usual, just incorporating my earthy colors, which I really like. And then this is a new one. This next spread is intermittent fasting. I'm going to track my eating window and my fasting window each and every day, just because I don't ever want to get off track or forget about it when life gets hectic. So it's just easier to have a tracker where I can visualize all of it and look at it and check it off each day. If you have any kind of fitness or health goals, even if it's not a diet or anything like that, I highly recommend making some kind of spread that works for you. It helps it to stay on your radar at all times. But basically, I'm just going to fill in a bar graph down the page each day where my eating window is. Usually it's 12 to 8, so I'll just color in between those two times. But moving on to the next page, I thought these were nice side by side. This is going to be my daily wellness tracker, and I was so excited to come up with this. I've never seen anyone else do this, by the way. I just thought it was perfect for me because I have in my head that I feel sick, like nauseous or lightheaded quite often these days, and I'm not sure if it's just my imagination or if in reality I really do feel that bad that often. So I want to track how I physically feel each day, my overall health. That's going to be the first column, and then the next column is going to be exercise, the time and the type I'm going to list out each day, and I'm going to see if there's any kind of correlation between my health and my mood and my habits or anything like that. I think that's good to note. Flipping the page, we're going to do Monday meetings again. I've done this in previous videos, but I kind of fell off with it just because life has been hectic. I'm sure all of you can relate, but Kenny and I actually spoke recently about starting this back up again, so I decided to add it in my bullet journal this month. Basically, we just sit down, have a cup of coffee, and catch up for the week. So I'm making columns for date, talking points, and takeaways. So talking points will be prior to the meeting, and takeaways will be during and after the meeting. So I'm just drawing some dots down the page to keep the columns without having those obnoxious lines restricting my writing. But if you recreate the spread, feel free to put lines down the page. The last spread is going to be my expenses and income tracker for business. And I've done expense trackers in the past, but I like the idea of having expenses and income all in the same place so I can see all together where my money is going and what money I have coming in. I just think that's more logical for me and more exciting to use rather than just writing down all the things that I'm buying and wasting money on. So I'm making columns for the date, name, description, plus or minus, and the amount of money. And for name, that could be a name of a customer or it could be a name of a retailer if I'm buying something. So I really like how that turned out. Cannot wait to use that. And then as for the weekly spreads, I'm not going to show you how I'm setting it up because I'm going to sit down on a separate day and set up all my weekly spreads, but I'm going to follow the same exact format as I'm showing you here from February. That is the format that I like the best, so I'll just be repeating that for each week in March. But I'm just going to flip through and show you all the spreads that we just created together so you can see how it looks as a whole. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.